Yo, what happens when a bunch of guys try to pull off the biggest bank heist in Argentina, but screw up so bad it turns into a live comedy show for the police? Well, welcome to the story of the failed Banco Galicia tunnel heist in Buenos Aires 2020. This was supposed to be a mastermind-level operation, like Ocean's 11 meets Minecraft. But instead, it turned into a complete disaster. And the best part? It took cops nearly 2 weeks to figure out what was even going on. So these guys wanted to rob a major bank, Banco Galicia, not by walking in with guns like in the movies. Nah, they had a smarter idea. Dig a tunnel. Yup, straight up Shawshank Redemption style. They rented out a shop just 30 meters away from the bank, brought in digging equipment, and started tunneling underground at night. Super slow, super secret. For months, nobody even noticed. They even built a fake wall inside the shop to hide the tunnel and had soundproofing, lights, everything. These guys weren't just some random gang. They had engineers, planners, blueprints, all of it. And the goal? Break into the bank's vault and disappear before sunrise. Boom. Instant millionaires. Now here's where it gets hilarious. After weeks of digging, they were almost there. They had just reached the area under the vault, but right before the final step, they vanished. Like poof. Left everything, the tunnel, the tools, the shop, and disappeared. Cops discovered the tunnel randomly during a building inspection. At first, they thought it was an old sewage line, but then they noticed the electric lights, fresh digging, air ventilation systems. Someone was literally building an underground robbery highway. But there were no fingerprints, no cameras, no suspects. Even the shop was rented using fake IDs. It was like the robbers had just rage quit the heist halfway through. So get this, the police were absolutely stunned. They had never seen something this elaborate and yet unfinished. Forensic teams went down the tunnel, expecting to find clues, maybe a name, DNA, a shoe print, anything. But these robbers were just too clean. So what went wrong? Why didn't they finish the job? Well, turns out the group was being watched secretly by another gang that was planning to rob the robbers once they got the money. Yeah, double heist. Word got out on the street, and the original gang panicked. They didn't want to get robbed after pulling off the hardest part of the plan, so they ditched the mission and ran. It's like trying to win the final boss battle in a video game and suddenly your controller dies. They were so close, and then boom, game over. In the end, nobody was ever caught. Nobody knows the exact number of people involved. No money was stolen, no alarms were triggered, and no bank ever even realized they were being targeted, until it was too late. The only thing left behind? A perfectly built tunnel, a confused police force, and the most failed successful bank robbery in Argentina's history. Moral of the story? You can spend months planning, digging, investing, hiding. But if your biggest fear is another gang stealing your stolen money, maybe just become a YouTuber. If you liked that heist fail, hit like and follow for more. Want to hear about the robbers who used Hollywood-quality masks to become old men and rob banks? Or the dude who used TikTok to accidentally expose his own robbery? Comment next and I got you.